we have to start with the brilliance of Lomachenko. Oh my days. At the weekend, we actually saw two fantastic world-class performances. One from Lauren Price on British soil. We'll get to that in a minute. But first and foremost, down under, Perth was the destination, Spence. Lomachenko, the Matrix, is back in action and hopefully setting up some super fights for later on this year. He beat George Kambosos and he beat him in style.
Absolutely. Listen, 36 years of age, roll back the years. I mean, look, it was a masterclass. It really was from the very first bell. He's known as a slow starter anyway. He went out there, he took his time, but slowly and systematically stole the soul, really, of Kambosos. You know, it was punch perfect. The way he was throwing that left to the body, stepping around the side, and that eventually was the shot that won him the contest in that 11th round. But yeah, what a performance from Lomachenko. Just the judgment of distance and timing is absolutely insane. He's the master at what he does. I mean, look, we all thought he was very unlucky against Devin Haney back in 2023. You know, it was a fight that many felt he had won. And you didn't know what he was going to sort of have left at this stage. Going over to Perth was always going to be a tough job. But, man, he absolutely dominated it. I thought that, you know, he puts his name right back up there with anybody in the weight division.
There's people on this planet, Spence, right, that I speak to that tell me that Vasyl Lomachenko's overrated. Please, right? As a man that has stepped in the ring, as a man that has done this as a profession, just explain to the uneducated how good this fella is.
Listen, this guy goes down as an all-time great. He's not overrated, he's an all-time great. You've got to watch what he does. If you're a boxing purist, you would understand this. You watch the way that he goes out there. The reason he's a slow starter is because he works his opponents out, like Alexander Usyk, who we'll get into later on. But Usyk's the same as that. They take their time, they see what's going on, they set traps, they look where the openings are, and then they slowly start putting it into play. You know, I mean, yeah, this guy is an all-time great. He will go down as a Hall of Famer and an all-time great. I mean, he's a master.
What do you want to see next from him, mate? Is it Gervonta Tank Davis? Is that the one?
Absolutely. Absolutely, because he's the other guy that I rate in the division. Gervonta Tank Davis himself is excellent. Like, not just is he a powerhouse, but he's got a great boxing IQ as well. Quick hands. You know, he's the man of the division for me. And I think him, Shakur Stevenson's another one that I'd love to see. I want to see him in the mix with the big names because I think that's what that's what he wants. Him himself says, listen, I'm 36 years of age. I know the clock is ticking. I only want the right fights. And do you know what's great about Lomachenko and what he's done? If you look back to the beginning of his career and see how brilliant he was then, but great fighters have that adaptability. As they get older, you know, they like Floyd Mayweather's a great example. You look at Floyd in the early part of his career, so how he adapted and used the shoulder roll more and controlled the space, you know, dominated that space where he just had to take half a step back, but he was still in range to throw a shot. It is masterclass, and he falls into that bracket. I think that he's adapted as he's got older, and he showed there that just that judgment of timing and that judgment of space was key for Kambosos, who couldn't do anything. He's got quick hands himself, but every time he threw a shot, Lomachenko had seen it. The guy is, I want to see him in with the best now. I want to see Shakur Stevenson and Tank Davis are the two fights that I would love to see.
You know that I love my numbers, mate. So when people make big statements about he's the best or he's the greatest, and we'll get into this with Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk, I love my facts and stats to back stuff up. Just for people that are still not on the Lomachenko bandwagon as of yet. Check this out. He's had 21 professional fights. Forget his amateur career of 300 and odd knocks and only getting defeated on one occasion. All that. You know that story. You know about his gold medals. Professional game, 21 professional fights. 17 of those 21 fights, world title fights. Which is in itself is absolutely insane. 15 of those 21 outside of his weight division. He's not even a lightweight. And he's still playing with these big lads and making them look, I won't say average, but he's making them look a lot lesser than what he is. He's a three-weight world champion. He did it in record quick time. He is just a true sensation. And if he can go on, like you've just said, Spence, to fight someone like a Gervonta Davis, and he can do to Gervonta Davis what he's done to maybe some others, mate. I already have him maybe just on the cusp of that top 5 in the pound-for-pound rankings. He's maybe number 5 on my list. If he could do something like that to Gervonta Davis, he might even go straight to number 1.
Yeah, I'm with you, mate. You can't deny that. You just watch the brilliance of the guy and what he does. You just got to. Sometimes we just got to appreciate, sit back and enjoy. And the problem that we've got in the world that we live in today is that people don't do that. They're looking to criticize. They're looking to find fault. Well, guess what? There is no faults. If you're talking about trying to find a near perfection fighter or near perfect fighter, you're getting your man right there. I mean, what he does, he can box on the front foot, can box on the back foot, he can go sideways. He's like a matrix. Do you know what I mean? The guy has it all. And sometimes you just have to sit back and appreciate. And that's what I do with Lomachenko. You just highlighted the stats there, Adam. Go back in history. Look at fighters that have done that. There's not many.
I think you can say, safe to say that me and Spencer are fans of Lomachenko. We're also fans of this next lady that we're going to talk about because she's come under a little bit of criticism. And I've had to, on the radio, defend her on a couple of occasions. And do you know something? I can kind of understand where some of the fans were coming at it from. 6 pro fights in for Lauren Price after a fantastic amateur pedigree herself. And she got an opportunity to become world champion at the weekend, of which she achieved, beating Jessica McCaskill. Now, up until the Jessica McCaskill fight, my take on it, Spencer, and I don't know where you were at, she was getting in with girls who maybe felt a little bit of the power, felt a little bit of the class in the first 2 rounds of fights, and then they go into their shell. They would then go to try and survive, of which makes it very difficult for Lauren Price to then shine and show off her brilliance. Jessica McCaskill at the weekend, to all her credit, kept trying. She kept coming. She kept trying to win, I think is a key thing, of which then allows Lauren Price to really show her brilliance. Was it the most sexiest fight in the world at the weekend? No, it wasn't. But what we did see from Lauren Price is class. Real good footwork, good hands, a brilliant maturity. She's the real deal. And hopefully we're going to get some super fights in the not too distant future with the likes of the Sandy Ryans and the Natasha Jonases of this world.
Absolutely. Listen, you sort of echoed what I would say really about Lauren Price is, as a fighter myself or an ex-fighter myself, when you're boxing these people that are just there to give you the rounds and give you the development as a professional, when you're boxing these people, it's very difficult to look good at because, like you say, they go into their shell. So then for Lauren, it was sometimes a judgment of distance. She was getting too close or she was too far away, and she was just struggling to find herself as a professional in the professional ranks. But clicked against McCaskill because McCaskill come to win. She was coming forward. She was pushing hard. 4th round, clash of heads. The eye come up. Things were going wrong for McCaskill, but Lauren boxed a punch-perfect fight. She was manoeuvring around the perimeter of the ring, picking her shots, throwing clusters of punches. What is it about these Welsh fighters, by the way, that have got this incredible hand speed, clusters of punches, Joe Calzaghe-esque? You know what I mean? What I'm saying is it's just... Yeah, there was a lot of brilliance there with Lauren Price. You look at that and you look at who's around in and around that division. I know there's not that great depth of fighters in women's boxing right now, but the girls that are at the top are very good, and the girls do jump up and down through the weights. McCaskill was a tricky one to overcome. She totally dominated that for the 9 rounds until the fight obviously was stopped. It went back on the scorecard. She won every round, won it clearly, and she just announced herself onto the world stage saying, listen, I'm here. I can go up in weight. I'll come down in weight. You got to remember, as an amateur, Lauren Price beat Savannah Marshall. Look at the size difference. Like that. What I'm saying is this girl has class. It's like when you're as small as you are and you're boxing someone as big as Savannah is, what I'm saying, you've got to work really hard to get inside. You've really got to, you've got to work things out. She has that adaptability as well. She can box on the front foot, back foot, etc. She has a great boxing IQ. That was brilliant. That was a brilliant performance. I'd love to see her in with Sandy Ryan, who looked great as well. Was very unfortunate actually against Jessica McCaskill.
Yeah.
But she's improved as a fighter. She's young. She's improving all the time. We want to see them. The fight I really want to see is her and Natasha Jonas. Natasha, she deserves the big fights now, 39 years of age, probably in the last year of boxing, which she wants the big fights out there. Lauren's announced herself on the stage. That could be a great fight.
You've just touched upon something there in part of that conversation, Spence, that I think there's going to be opportunities at multi-weights for Lauren Price going forward because, as she says, as an amateur, she did do it at higher weight levels. But there's definitely stuff at 147 that she could do. I think from what I saw at the weekend, Ivana Habazin was ringside the WBC champion, wasn't she? And I think that maybe that is the path that they'll go first. But she can move quickly. And you've just mentioned 2 girls there. They're the ones. Other belt holders in this division are Sandy Ryan and Natasha Jonas. I don't think there's a wrong answer for either of them. I think the fans would buy into absolutely the pair of them. Personally, for me, listen, I love Tash. Absolutely, that's a great fight. But what Sandy Ryan did against Jessica McCaskill, I thought she was very unfortunate not to get it on that night. I actually thought she was robbed, to be fair. I thought she beat McCaskill.
She was robbed.
What she did against Terry Harper recently was just outstanding. Sandy Ryan, Lauren Price, stylistically, oh, mate, deal me in.
Yeah.
Deal me in. Just serve it up. What an unbelievable fight that will be.
Absolutely. Listen, I'm with you, mate. That's what I said to you. Like, we see with Sandy Ryan, she's young herself. She's still improving. She's had that experience. She's had her knockbacks and she's gone back to the drawing board and she's grown from that. And that's what's important about a fighter. Sometimes when a fighter loses a contest, it's all about, that's the molding of them. That's the making of them. And I think we've seen that, early on in Sandy Ryan's career, and she's come back and she's moved on. And she's looked fantastic, and that is the fight. Obviously, the mouth-watering fight that we'd want. But like I say, for Natasha and what she's achieved within the sport, and she's done it late on in her career, I'd like to see her go out in a big fight. And for me, Lauren Price, that is the fight. But yeah, 2 great fights there,
mate. Great weekend. Boxing was flying at the weekend. Lomachenko doing his thing. Lauren Price doing her thing. Other good performances as well. Congratulations to Denzel Bentley. He was superb against Danny Dignam. And of course, a couple of other little bits and bats on those undercards as well. Nice to see Archie Sharp back in the ring, even though he had a scare in that first round, being dropped twice and then came back and got the job done. Good stuff for him.